Hi, I'll give you a quick look at a room so you get some ideas about what a simple rented out room can look like, the features that I think are important in a room. This one's just got a single bed in it. Often I have a divan, I buy second-hand divan, and it's got drawers underneath that makes for extra space. But usually I have a chest of drawers, usually it's a mirror, some sort of a wardrobe for stashing plenty of clothes and so on. Usually I put some shelving in there too. And overhead shelving as well. I've given them complete bedding on that bed, and I gave them extra bedding up on the top there, make them feel welcome. Clock on the wall. One little feature that's worth mentioning is the door. I always fit a lock here so that on their first night they can lock it, knowing that even if I had a key I couldn't get in. Just makes people, especially women, feel a little more secure on their first time here. Up there I usually have a fire detection alarm sort of thing. Usually put a nice light fitting. In this case I got that, a friend gave it to me. But garage sales are a great way of getting furnishings. One thing I'm emphasising is this is not a luxury house at all. You'll get more money if you have an expensive house, but this is what I think for this particular country is the sweet spot. That is, you get you don't have to pay a lot for a house, and yet you can rent out 3 or 4 rooms and do very well out of that as a return on the investment. Just a note, you don't have to own a place to rent it out. There's another video called Rent a Rented Place that covers that. I've done it in 2 different countries, works very well. There's a table and a chair so they can study. Often these people are students. Waste paper basket, lamp there. I've given them a radio. I usually put a bunch of cut flowers in that bowl. It's a very nice little welcoming gesture. Power facilities, broadband's provided, power switch over there, telephone if you've got a landline. Most people use cell phones these days. In fact, I tell my residents that I prefer they don't use the landline unless they have to, and I prefer they use the cell phone. Bookcase for storing stuff there. Just outside the door here I've put a coat rack where they can hang coats. That gives them more space in there. Obviously you've got to have a bathroom for them to use. You can put a little bit of decoration there, make them feel amused and happy. These are pretty obvious sorts of things. The kitchen space in here is, here's the larder. It's divided up so that each person has a labelled shelf or shelves. You divide it up so it's fairly organised. I can accommodate 4 people, including me here. Do the same thing with the fridge. In the fridge, that's a fridge I use pretty exclusively, but the bottom shelves are labelled with different people down here. See the labels there, different people. That's the freezer there, similarly divided up with names there to partition it, as well as some shared space down the bottom. Say shared space, and anyone can put stuff there. They may like to label. I've made some shelving there for odd bits of stuff like bottles and extra groceries and so on. You know, things that people store dry. People can still store things in their room if they like. I encourage that. I myself buy bulk flour and so on because I have a bread maker here and I make bread every 2 days, and I make it with bulk flour from a company called Toots, and it costs half as much that way. But I store that bulk stuff in my room. This is the other fridge. It's the other one of the 2, and again it's divided up with labels on the shelves. I've laid out the utensils so that they're easy to grab if there's 2 people or more cooking in the kitchen. Similarly, I've made the shelving for the crockery so that you can grab a plate if you need it without having to open a cupboard next to somebody's knee when they're trying to work. And similarly over here on the cup rack, I've made the cup rack a bunch of pegs. You can make that yourself, get a board, and it's a great way of storing cups. It's fairly hygienic. If you haven't got a dishwasher, you just put them on a peg, they dry out hot. And I tend to keep part of the house rules in this place is that I get people to agree that we'll keep the place reasonably tidy. One side of it is kept clear, you can have some stuff drying there, but when that happens, that means if you go to do some cooking, you've always got plenty of area to work, and 2 people can if they like. The living room I've set up with a TV and a stereo, and it's got a wood burner and nice carpet to lounge on and so on, so obvious furniture there. A communal table. In this regime at the moment, we don't really cook meals very much together. We sometimes sit down, but most of the time we're cooking our own stuff. Outside, I can quickly show you a courtyard that I've partitioned it off a bit so that there's a place where you can sit in the sun if you like. It's fairly secure. Over here I've got gates that lead out to the street. I've got bike sheds because I encourage people to bike rather than use cars. People park on the street. Wood for the wood burner. A garden over the back here. And I encourage people, if they're interested, to contribute to the gardening, but a lot of them don't, so I'm quite happy with that. But I do gardening a little bit myself. It's nice to have fresh garden produce. So there it is. That's a bit of a look at a place that's fairly modest cost to buy. The place really didn't cost me that much to buy, and yet it rents out very well. Same thing I did in Toronto. Yeah, you can do it yourself, so don't think you have to have an expensive place. If you do, you'll get more rent, but you can do very well with quite a modest place. This place I am using, so comically call tidy shabby. So comfortable shabby, that's how it is. Alright, well I hope that's given a few ideas of what you can do with limited resources and make very good money out of it. Have a great time. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.